But it's a clean start for the moment as Gianmarco Oakley leads the race, and Alan Day is still trying to go around the outside as they head round through turn 2, which is Druids Bend. They carve their way out of Druids, and it is Gianmarco Oakley that has managed to hang on to the lead of the race. Alan Day, I think, is there in second position. You can see just how busy it is. All over the curbs and the grass is the number 50 car as Loris Hazeman's there, and there's contact further back, and there's a big accident further back. Several cars all involved. It looks as though the number 11 car of Stinis Longines was involved, and that is quite a wreck that we've got down there on the Cooper Straight.
Yes, he can. It's side by side in the race lead. It's side by side all through the field. Thomas Tuffel getting a little bit snaky there. Oh, and he's collected Claudio Remeggio Capelli, and there are cars all over the place. Max Mason has hit the back of Thomas Tuffel, and there are cars in the gravel. There are cars on the grass. And there's inevitably going to be one extra car on track, the safety car. That is a huge incident right on board with Max Mason. Oh, and he was just caught unsighted in multiple different ways there. So then back underway, and it is Hazeman's that leads them. We're into overtime, 2 laps to determine who is going to take the win. They immediately fan out on the main straight. We ride on board with Paul Giffreau, and oh, he's collected Maltrek. Up in the air he goes. Christian Maltrek there, I think, made an error all of his own. He collected Giffreau. He's also collected the returning Japanese racer Kenko Miura. Everyone very close-knit further back, but what's happened to Patrick Schauber? Schauber slows down. Oh, and Jack Davidson collects the number 27 Double V racing car. That was a nasty impact. You ride on board here with Jack Davidson. Looks like something just broke on Patrick Schauber's car. And Davidson had absolutely nowhere to go. The good news is that he's out of the car, as is Patrick Schauber.
But it's Alan Day that leads. Mark Goossens in second place. Jacques Villeneuve is there in third. Nicola Rocca is there in fourth place. And a spin further back for Alex Caffey round through turn number 3. Mauro Trioni hits him, and it's Trioni who's upside down with the contact that was made between himself and the rotating Alex Caffey. There's problems elsewhere around the lap as well, and that's Ander Villarino, the championship leader, that's facing the wrong way. Other cars sort of...
Meanwhile, we ride on board with the 88 of Max Lanza. Oh, and he has a big moment there into Paddock Hill Bend, and he's going to find the wall. Oh, and a roll as well. That's a nasty looking crash for the 88. You can see there the damage to the Tech Pro barriers. Get an outside look at that crash, and nasty into the driver's side there, and then a roll for good measure. The force, the sheer force in which Lanza hit that wall.
That's a spin for Willy Gruber in turn 1. Oh no, it will be a great big one. The drivers have to react quickly to avoid contact. Big braking for Renauer and Goossens. Woohoo! Both guys are getting away with it. Great job. All the drivers leave their cars and scattered.
As they come over the start-finish line, contact between them. There's going to be and a big accident and into the barriers goes Felipe Rebello. He was sort of sideswiped by one of his competitors, and there's not a great deal of runoff there. That's surely going to give us a full course caution. Yes. And round 2 of the Elite 1 division of the NASCAR Wheeling Euro Series, the green flag flies and away they go. It looks as though it's a good start for Ander Villarino from the pole position as they charge their way down towards Aspar for the first time. There's contact further back, and a big accident as Ellen Law goes into the barriers on one side and comes across to the other. Big crash. That was a very large crash.
If he can get a good launch this time, he didn't succeed yesterday, and in fact he doesn't succeed today. Sebastian Bleekemolen from the second row with a good start, but he gets himself into a spin. I think he got hooked there on Gorelli, and everybody else is detonating at the back end of the order. Lots and lots of contact, lots and lots of damage before we even get to turn one. Somehow we've had the big one here, and it's not even a super speedway race. They go through turn 4 and turn 5. They need to be careful of the pinch point here at this corner, and it is still side by side. Oh, contact between them. Oh, and Capelli loses it on the sausage curb. He ricochets into Patrick Schauber. Oh no, that's clearly going to be a delay to the race with that one.
Anthony Gandalf in the 24 car to try and get second place away from
as they charge their way up towards turn number 1. Nicola Risitano being pushed out to the far left of the circuit, but Myatt Snyder is going to lead as they head in towards Aspar, which is turn number 1. It is going to be, without question, Andre Castro that's there in second. Contact further back, Max Lancer gets tagged, Scott Jeffs gets tagged. There's contact further back as well as Sam Taheri is involved, and there's a huge amount of damage to the front end of Jesse Vartiernen's car.
Can NASCAR hold off the cars around him? Oh, big incident further back in the pack. That is Paolo Valeri. And the 65 car, that's Riccardo Romagnoli.
This is between 85 and number 6. We're on board with car number 6. What has happened here? Let's have a look. He goes round the right-hander, onto the start-finish, knocked wide, into the barrier, and over he goes, ending up on his roof. The marshal's running to his safety straight away. What happened? We go on board. This is a huge crash between Michele Caruti and Wilfred Bocchina. One going across the other one, both of them out of the race. On board there with Armetti behind Bocchina. Carnage.
One contact between Tofel and Bleekemolen, and that puts Bleekemolen into hazement. His car disintegrates and he gets hit by Dombrovski and Armetta. That's a lot of damage to at least 3 cars. Then Tofel skipped the chicane, and there you see, he just ran out of room, and that is a lot of heavy hits to Sebastian Bleekemolen.
Whoa, and there's a contact in turn 4 between Christophe Bouchou and Thomas Ferrando. They're both out of the race.
Oh my goodness me! They're full trouble. Oh, they're all over the place. It's carnage.
We're on board with Marcus. Oh, there's a spin by Nordstrom. Whoa, vicious crash in turn 4. All 3 cars are heavily damaged, but the drivers are okay and they'll be back racing tomorrow.
Lock brake like that isn't too much of a problem, but he's just locked the same brake again and off and into the barriers with a big hit by the look of things. That's the number 27 car out there, which is Angelo Rigaro, that's gone off at Paddock Hill Bend. Buckle up, we're about to go racing for the final time at Brands Hatch here. The lights go out and they head up towards turn number 1, Paddock Hill Bend for the first time, but it looks as though already we've had contact and an incident, and it is the number 9 car of Simone Loretti that was involved in an incident. It's under pressure from Andre Castro. There's contact between the pair of them. Castro loses control and collects Mirko Schultes, who then gets collected in the tail end from Pol van Poelart. 3 cars out on the spot. That brings out the safety car and get the inside line for the next corner. Lorenzo Marcucci, contact between himself and Dylan Daredala. Both cars off to the edge of the circuit and heavily damaged. There's damage to Mauro Trione's car as well. All of the front of that missing, and Scott Jeffs, the British driver.
Oh, and that does not sound good. Dubek, I think the gearbox potentially letting go on him there. He's trying to return to the pit lane. Oh, but he comes across Max Lanza. And that sends Advait Yodar, sadly, into the wall. Lanza had to take evasive action. It gave Advait Yodar, the Indian racer based in London,
We go on board with Andre Castro. Ahead of him is Vittorio Garelli, who gets very sideways, and then there's contact between the pair of them. Garelli gets spun around and goes backwards into the barrier, and Andre Castro, I suspect, has suffered damage in that as well. That is going to bring out the safety car.